Okay, welcome back to Coach Garcia's video lecture. Today we're going to be talking about process of cultural change. Cultural change is when new ideas, behaviors, and technologies are adopted. Independent invention is an idea, behavior, or technology that originates within a culture. Those are your two definitions that are going to be big for this video lecture. Now, diffusion is another big definition. The idea, behaviors, or technology spreads from another culture. In other words, a culture sees something that they start to adopt into their own culture. They adopt that behavior or that idea or that technology. The example I gave here was religion. Okay, other people, other cultures may see a religion that they're not familiar with. They go into that religion, get to learn the ideas, and then they adopt it as their own, and that's how religion has spread, and that's what's called diffusion. Okay, one of the processes is called migration. Okay, a great example of migration to change culture is with the Spaniards when they brought horses over to the Americas. Okay, the Indians adopted the horses into their culture. They use the horses for war. They use them for agriculture, for transportation. Migration is one of the ways that cultural change happens and other cultures adopt what another culture has brought in. The second process is war. Okay, in this example I take North Korea and South Korea, the Korean War in the 50s. A lot of Americans went into South Korea, shared their language, shared their television programs, shared part of their culture with South Korea. Because of this, South Korea has adopted learning English, speaking English, learning some of the television shows and radio shows that the Americans listen to, along with some of the food and culture. So if you ever travel to South Korea, you'll see a lot of American culture within the South Korean culture. And the last process is trade. Okay, trade spread a lot of ideas up and down trade routes, the major trade routes of the world. Cultures would, when people travel, when people trade, they bring their cultures with them. It's not something that they can leave behind. It's something that stays with them. So wherever they go, they would still practice their beliefs, whether it be their food, their religion, their language. And for other people to understand, or even for them to understand the cultures and the regions that they were going into, they had to either learn their language, or the people there had to learn theirs so they could trade with each other. And then during that time they would see the type of cultures and customs that they would do, whether it be the food that they were eating, the food that they were making, their religious practices. All that produced a lot of diffusion along trade routes. That's the positive side. One of the negatives is that along trade routes you can also spread things like disease. A trader would go into one town, he would catch the disease, and as he moved along he would spread that disease from one town to the next, and that's how it would spread throughout the region. But for the most part, that's also how cultural ideas and technology spread as well. Okay, so that's the process of cultural change. Make sure you're taking good Cornell notes and use those Cornell notes, and hopefully this prepares you for the classwork. Good luck.